So y'all like the new design hedge trimmers? Look at that. Can y'all believe that shit, man? And they still work, y'all. That's that new design, man. That's crazy, dude. All right, y'all, so we just got done with this one, and y'all can see it's a pretty big property, man. Yeah. Now, this is a neighborhood. I don't mind this neighborhood because the lawns over here pay $150. Just saying. Okay guys, good morning, Monday morning, y'all. Zach's already left. It's 10 minutes after 8, and we are, well, y'all know we're getting to the end of the season, and yeah, hope everybody's doing okay, because this is the scary part to me. It always has been. So yeah, we got, well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 12 on the list. There's 12 on the list. There's probably a couple that we won't do. I got to put them on the list anyway, and then we will adjust as we go. Well, I know for a fact that some of the Bermuda grass is not going to be growing hardcore. We haven't had any rain, and it hasn't been super hot the last 3 or 4 days. So that's usually a trigger for the grass to start not growing, and that's okay. We got a few jobs where the leaves are going to start falling, so they still want us to come. I was actually very surprised that one of the customers on here actually wanted us to come today, because usually he's the first one that starts bailing. And there's options, you know. I give, not that I give customer options, there are options for the customers this time of year as far as I'm concerned, you know, if they don't, you know, want me to come cut or, you know, that kind of thing. So I'm in contact with another with somebody to pour concrete, man. It's the craziest thing I ever seen, man. Concrete pours, man. I tell you what, it might be, I gotta say, man, that will be a freaking damn good business to be in, because the demand is freaking just huge, at least in my area. It's kind of, well, we're just in a little part of the season that is a lot of unknowns. And y'all know me, man, I don't like to have a lot of unknowns when I come out here to go to work. There's enough unknowns just in general, but today there are quite a bit of unknowns. So okay, y'all, so me and Zach got done with these 3 right here. I sent Zach on to do the next one. I got an alert on the phone that says that he was not going the way I've asked him to. I didn't ask him not to go up in town and all that to get to this other property from here, but he keeps telling me he's just following the GPS. I mean, you ought to know how I told him how to go. There's like 2 turns. It's like come out of the neighborhood, go to the east-west connector, which is like 500 yards from where you turn out at, and then take a left, and then it takes you all the way over to 29. Instead, he wants to go all up through town and stuff. And I don't understand why. I can see if I never said anything to him, but I've said something to him a couple of times. Of course, to hear him say it, I've never said anything to him but once. And you just get the feeling that guys come out here, they just want to do things their own way. They want to do it their way. That's what that says to me. I don't know, man. I just think it's stupid, man. I mean, I don't understand. I just don't get it. So, yeah. Yeah, so it's not that bad today. All the properties are pretty easy. It's not hot. Everything is pretty good. I got one of the customers that wants to skip, and that's cool. It didn't really need it anyway, and I was good with that. So, but we're cooking with gas. We're getting them done. We're making good time. All right, y'all. So I'm pulling up on these two that I got. They're real close to each other. Zach's on another one. It's a little bit bigger. I'm gonna knock these two out, and then I'll meet with Zach over at the last one where we gotta just touch the bushes. It's not bad. But see, the customer over here, not this one right here, but the next one up, he stopped me on the road coming in, and he was saying, "Hey Ray, I trimmed all my bushes, so think you could use your blower to blow them, you know, clean up, basically." Wants me to clean up after his bushes. See, I don't like it when customers do that, man. They ain't adding to the check. And his property is, well, it's so small, he thinks that, well, he's told us not to cut the back, right? So we haven't been going in the backyard. And, well, so in his brain, he said, well, since you ain't had to cut the back, you can clean up after my bushes and all. And see, I don't really like doing that kind of thing, man. Well, he used to pay us to do the bushes, but see, he doesn't want to pay anybody to do the bushes no more. And we're over here in the country club. I mean, we're not over here where, you know, these houses are $150,000. These houses are $700,000, $800,000 on the lake. So yeah, these are doctors and lawyers and stuff live over here. Big money. But you know, what do? You know, I mean, he didn't know I was coming. See, a lot of times the homeowners, they'll bull hog the damn help. Like he was disappointed when he saw that Zach wasn't coming, because see, he knows it's harder to bull hog me than it is to bull hog Zach or whoever's coming over here besides me. Because he knows I'll say, well, man, I ain't got time for all that, man. But he knows that, you know, that Zach will do it because, well, I guess Zach's been doing it. You know, I haven't been doing that property. It's an easy property, good thing. But I don't really like the customers playing that kind of game with me. But I got to get on this one right here. This one right here is really easy, and you know, they're all easy. So I'm gonna do these two, and I'm gonna text Zach in case he gets done with that one before I get done with these two. Probably be borderline about the same, because Zach's not that fast. Contrary to what he thinks, he's really not that fast. He doesn't. Well, Zach is doing the properties the same way now that he would do them in July. And see, you don't have to stick the weed eater everywhere because it ain't growing. But he's still doing that, see. You know, I mean, it's okay, you know, but he can make much better time and work less. I'm just saying, you know, I mean, we're making money, you know, and, you know, it ain't nothing. I guess I had rather him be more thorough than not. But this time of year on the yards that I do, especially on this route, man, I mean, I could probably get away without even cranking the weed eater up over here. But see, Zach would spend 25 minutes weed eating this property. You see? Well, Ray, Zach's doing a better job. Not necessarily. Because he's weed eating things that don't really need to be weed eating, you know. So, It ain't a big deal, but you know, as you move into the off season, you know, you can pick up the pace a little bit because, well, the heat is less and the grass is not, and the weeds are not growing as vigorously. So, you know, you could edge a driveway one time and you ain't gonna have to edge it in 2 weeks even on this property. Well, see, Zach will be trying to edge the driveway and everything. See, I'll look at the driveway and I'll say, oh, okay, well, we did it last time, it looks fine. Because I know the grass is not gonna grow. You know, it's even gonna grow less in the, you know, from this point, you know, 2 weeks from now, it's gonna, than it has the previous 2 weeks. So, and it doesn't look bad at all. This grass, I mean, if this were my yard, I would have told Ray, don't come. That's what I would have told him when I texted him last night. Because I know these yards are on the verge of being done for the season. So, anyway, I got to get to it, y'all. See, one thing I want to show you guys on the Bermuda grass, you see how full it is where it's all the sun is? But you see the shade that this little wood line here creates? Look how thin the grass is right there. See? And then when you get over here to where it gets a lot more sun, you see how it is. See, this tree right here, crepe myrtle, is hindering the grass from growing and being full. So these are the kind of things that I look at, you know, going into the off season to where I can do more work. See, I trim that crepe myrtle back, and the selling point will be, well, the truth is the fact that you can't get grass in here with all the shade. Now that's the type of grass that most of all my yards are, Bermuda grass or trashy grass. So yeah, just wanted to show y'all that while I was thinking about it. So a lot of guys have asked me, you know, what kind of grass is mostly down here, and that's what I mostly cut. And if it gets shade, it does not want to do right. Well, I mean, it can handle a little bit of shade, but not that much. All right. So I just pulled up to the one where the dude cut the bushes, and see, look. See how he left shit everywhere? See, I'm not, what am I supposed to do with all that? See, sometimes the customers will set you up, man. I'm not cleaning all this up, man. No freaking way. Talking about cleaning out the beds and all? Dude, I'm not doing that, man. Look at all this. See, look. They did the easy part. I'll blow off the sidewalk. I'm not cleaning out the bed. All that stuff right there, I'll mulch up, man. See, I don't like that, man. I'm not charging enough over here. I mean, you got just branches, just, you know, that's a shitty yard, dude, for to be in a neighborhood that we're in. All right, y'all, I'm quit crying. If y'all see what I'm saying. 1 o'clock, man, and we headed to the last, well, I'm headed to the last one. Zach, I don't know where Zach is. He ought to be either leaving the one he's at and on his way to the last one, or already headed to the last one. The last one, we got to do the bushes, so, but if Zach beats me over there, and by law he should, but he may not, you know, he might have got hung up, because the one that he was doing, there's, you know, she likes to come out and talk and all that, so, you know, but y'all saw how that customer left that yard, and, you know, I was trying to save a nickel. Well, I blew it off the concrete and mulched all that stuff up. I didn't blow near a bed out. Don't do me like that, man. And then, you know, leave me lawn money. You got me wanting to, I mean, see, if Zach had been over there, Zach would have spent a bunch of more time over there. See, the customers know what's up. Most of them. They know what our agreement is, and sometimes they'll get a guy that's, you know, that works for me, and if he's over there by himself, and, you know, Zach's a good guy, man. He ain't trying to, you know, upset the customer. If the customer asks him to do something that's, you know, blow out the beds or whatever, you know, Zach will do it, you know. But that'll be one of the reasons why it take him so long to do stuff. And see, Yeah, that. I ain't liking that crap, man. But I made sure that I spend as much time as I usually do over there. So, when you do bushes and stuff, I don't know about you guys, but to me, when we do bushes, cleaning up's the hardest part. Hell, if I didn't have to clean up, that'd be like, man, hell, I wouldn't charge nearly as much. And on a little bitty property like that one, oh my God, man. Y'all saw how he left that shit everywhere. I didn't blow out near a bush. You gonna do me like that, man, on the fly. Once he found out we was coming, he jumped out there this morning, and because he knows, like in 2 weeks from now, he is not gonna want us to come back, and they're probably not gonna need it because we're getting to that part of the year and it's Bermuda grass. So, you know, that's two little bitty properties in a neighborhood that I hate. I hate being in the neighborhood. I hate being in those neighborhoods. They're too tiny, and they're far away from my house too. You know, 20-minute ride from the house. But you know, we do a lot more properties over here on this side of town anyway, so you know, it ain't like it's out of my way or nothing. But when I'm timing stuff, and it doesn't matter, you know, how much time I got or what I'm making per time or what I charge per yard. If I charge you blah blah dollars per yard or blah blah dollars to do your yard, if you throw a wrench in it, and with the timing and or with you know, trimming 30 bushes and leaving all the clippings everywhere, and you think I'm gonna come in there and clean it up and not make any more money than what I'm charging for the lawn? Oh no, oh no, 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 no. Yeah, a lot of times the guys that work for me, they get caught up in that, and that'll be why I take them so long. You know, he ain't even trying to give extra money. Now, if he'd have said, Ray, look, I'll go and write you another check. I'll left you a check for extra 20, man, to, you know, help me out with the bushes. You know, I can't afford the rate to cut all the bushes, but I'll throw you another 20, man, if you'll spend about 10 more minutes there. No, but that ain't how he does it. No. He flags me down on the road coming in, and hey, where's Zach at? He was surprised that Zach wasn't coming. You know, but Zach usually does that one. But the timing didn't work. It wasn't going to work out right today. I shook it up a little bit. So, you see how they do, man? Man, it's always something, y'all. I'm telling you. It's always something. Let me see where Zach is. Let's see if Zach's in front of me or behind me. He's in front of me. He's about 10 minutes in front of me. He likes to go the way to these places. He likes to go where all the traffic is. He doesn't think about, he's right up there at Thomas Crossroads. I would never go that way. Never. He likes to go where all the traffic is, it seems like. I don't understand. Why in the world would you want to get caught up there at Thomas Crossroads and all that mess up there? I don't know if it's quicker or shorter. I know it ain't quicker. Because we're going over by the house, so he should be acting like he's going to my house. Instead, he went straight. I don't know. I mean, it ain't a great big deal, but it just doesn't make sense to me. Why would you want to go the most traffic-y way? You're creating, well, what you're doing is you're heightening your chances of having an accident, of somebody running into you backing into somebody, something. See, he just goes up to Thomas Crossroads only to turn. Well, these kids these days, man, they defy everything, man. I mean, I don't even understand, dude. I ain't even gonna get worked up about it. It's just stupid shit. He's working hard, so that's all that matters, I guess. But when you got guys out here working for you, man, you know, well, their judgment sometimes is not what you think it should be. It's really all about your judgment. So his judgment, you know, see, their judgment a lot of times is not like yours. Well, most of the time it's not. And I guess that's why they work out here, you know. They don't consider things, you know, there's not really a train of thought. Like, I used to have one guy that worked out here with me, and he's the one I caught on the mower over there. But he worked out here with me for a minute, and this guy, he would go out of his way to go get caught up in the school traffic. I mean, he would literally go the way of, I mean, it was the craziest thing I ever seen, man. He would go to a job. I would look on the GPS. He'd be sitting in traffic at a school, and I'm like, what are you doing over there, dude? Why would you go that way when you know there's 2 schools on that road? He did that all the time. All the time. Because he's just not, his judgment is just, he just wasn't thinking about anything but just, you know, get from point A to point B. See? And when you're out here and you're working, you want to try to minimize all that, you know. Sometimes you can't help it. But and this guy was from where we're from. I mean, he knew all the roads. He knows there was 2 schools over there, and he knows there's 5 other ways that he could have went. But every time I turn around, he'd be doing some, you know, having to turn around, or I mean, it was always something, you know, on his routing and all, right? And then one day, he was on his way to work in his own vehicle, and he pulled out in front of somebody, and they drilled him, totaled his car. And he blamed me for that. Because he blamed me because he said, it's your fault I got in a wreck. I was trying to hurry up and get to work. I said, well, you shouldn't have been running late, dude. I mean, I'd be at my house at 8. If I hadn't had to be at work at 8, I wouldn't have wrecked. That's what he said to me. I'm like, okay, dude, whatever. He ended up getting a ticket for that shit. You know, pulling out in front of somebody. He had to pay like $250. I loaned him the money to pay it and took it out of his check. And then a week later, I caught him on his grandpa's yard cutting his grandpa's grass with my mower, one of my big mowers. So no matter what you do for these guys, you know, people just want to do their own thing, man. Ain't nothing wrong with wanting to do your own thing. It's just hard to do your own thing when somebody else is paying you. I said paying you. I do my own thing, right? I know I do. And that's, I mean, but nobody's paying me. The customers are paying me, but I'm doing my thing in a way that's very efficient to support my thing, you know. So, and it doesn't mean that you know, guys that work for you are bad guys or nothing. They're just not thinking like you are thinking, or at least like I'm thinking. And not that I'm always think right. A lot of times Zach will say, well, man, we need to do this first, and I'm like, well, dude, you're right. It happens. It's not, you know, unheard of or nothing. I'm not always right. But the thing about it, when you're the owner and you're paying everybody, whether you're right or wrong, you're going to have to pay either way. If you're wrong, then you got to pay. You might pay more money, but for the same work. If you're wrong, or your judgment on how you do things. So that's why I don't mind giving direction, and that's why I don't mind trying to us be really, really efficient and do things just like I say. Because if you do things just like I say and I'm wrong, well, I'm the one that's got to pay. If you do things like you want to do things, I'm the one that's got to pay. So I'm going to bet on myself before I bet on an employee. That's just my thinking. I ain't always right. But I'm willing to take the good with the bad on that, considering I got to pay either way. Just some things to think about when you got guys working for you. I did not do the one where the dude ain't paid me. He would have owed me 3 cuts. I texted him, I said, after today, you're going to owe me 3 cuts. And he texted me back and said, no way I'm going to owe you 3 cuts, man. And I said, okay, but you do. And, you know, after today. And so I jotted down, you know, because I got a phenomenal memory. One thing about me, I got a phenomenal memory. So I referred back to a few little things, and I said, okay, we were here, and you owe me this much on that time. And then, you know, see, if you pay me every time I go, then we don't get confused. See, I don't like all the confusion. Confusion always hurts the business, not the people that owe the money. So I jotted down. See, I jotted down what he owed me and took a picture of it and sent it to him. He ain't responded. And I did not do that property today. I didn't tell him I didn't do it. Not yet. I will. When I get in. He never responded to, last night I texted him, I said, yeah, you're on the list for tomorrow. Then you'll owe me for 3 cuts. And then this morning, after I got started, he texted me and said, oh, there's no way I owe you for 3. So I think it'll be 2, you know, after this cut. And I'm like, so I go to the Cash App. I look at the Cash App. I said, okay, the last time you paid me was 9/1, you know, and you owed me 100 then. See? So, yeah. Confusion never works out in the business's favor. Never. Now, see, he's out of state. It's a rental property. But I'm not going to cut it until I get some money out of him. Once he said, when I told him, hey, I'll be headed over there to cut it, and then he came back at me this morning and was saying, oh, there's no way I'll owe you 3. Well, I knew right then I wasn't going to cut it. I knew right then. There's no way I was going to cut it. Why would I? There's already confusion at 2 cuts. Why would I want to create more confusion for 3? Let's minimize our losses. If I'm going to take a hit, then you never know what a customer's going to do. He's always paid. But if a customer feels like he's getting beat, then, you know, then he ain't going to pay you. I mean, from my perspective, I don't just say things to a customer about how much money they owe me until I look and know. I know exactly how much he owes me. I know exactly when I went there, and I know exactly it all is documented because he pays strictly with Cash App. So I can look at the Cash App and tell you when the last time he paid me, and then I can look at my text messages and tell you and the timing of the text messages and tell you he owed me like 120, and then he paid 60, and then he owed me 60, and then I did it again back to 120, and then, you know, so today was going to be 180, 3 cuts. And he was saying, no, it was only going to be 2. And I'm like, it's going to be 3. And I went and I had already looked, I already knew. I knew that I was right because I ain't wrong about my money very often. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist or a CPA to go in there and look at the Cash App and see when the last time dude paid me. I mean, and then because I do everything by text messages. So, and that's another good thing to do if you're in business out here, especially when you're starting out. You need to do text messages and let them know, you know, hey, I'm coming, and see what they say. And then you can always refer back to those text messages. And I do that all the time on any customers that are not there to pay me, or, well, you know, any customers that I see where there could be confusion. Back to your judgment. You got to kind of know what's going to be more confusion. The little old lady that leaves a check under the mat every time I cut, or the dude that lives in San Diego that's got a rental over here that I don't ever see. Who's gonna who's more likely to have a confusion when they're not paying each time? See, and I let him start doing that because he's always paid real good, and sometimes he'll even pay in advance. And see, but this summer he's been behind the whole summer, and I'm not going to cut it anymore until he pays me. And I went by there today, and it was getting a little bit tall. It wasn't crazy tall, but it's going to be, you know, in another 2 weeks, it'll be really tall where I got some leverage. If I cut it today, I ain't got no leverage to get paid. I mean, I hate to be like that, man, but that's how I am. I'm out here to make a living. It's just, you know, it's just business, man, really. I mean, this is how it is. It's on a small scale, but that's how big business does it too. The customer. There is a fine line between alienating the customer and pissing them off, where where paying you becomes a problem for them. You don't want that to happen, and that's why I never let nobody get real deep in my pocket, because they're gonna weigh, okay, if I pay Ray, I gotta come out blah blah dollars. Well, that ain't worth, you know, upsetting the lawn man, or you know, losing the lawn man over $100. But if I owe him, but if they owe me $500, well, they might damn lose the lawn care man over that. You got to be thinking, man. And when you're closer to the end of the season you get, the more on point you got to be thinking. Unless you have a special relationship with the customer or whatever, you know, and only you know that, just like only I know mine. So, yeah.